This is To Wit, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Kristi Campbell.
And I'm Melinda Smith.
Hello, Blondie.
Hi, it looks really blonde today, huh? For those of you that can't see, it's super blonde right now, and then we'll be super unicorny soon.
I was going to say, are you still working on a Dreamforce hair surprise adventure?
Yes, I'm having it done on the 20th, and she's making me grow it out a little so she can actually hold on to it and put all the fun colors in it. So my hair's not long, but it's long to me. I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this hair. But I'm excited. It's going to be fun colors.
I finally, it's not fall yet, but I finally broke out my hair dryer because in summertime I tend to live with scrunchy hair or what I call snooze button hair, where I just put it back wet and then hope for the best. So I actually blow dried my hair this week because I had a date, let's be honest. And I kind of want to get it dyed now because now I realize there's more grays in it than I thought. And they're always so weird consistency. It's so strange. But anyway.
I feel like they come out of nowhere. Like, you're fine. I'm like, oh, my hair, it looks fine. And then 75.
Or it's 5 feet long. And you're like, what happened?
How did I not notice this? It's not like it grows out brown and then turns gray. It grew that way.
Yeah, pew! Yeah, and it's I'm only 35, guys. It's only going to get worse from here. But that's fine. It's great.
Yeah, just keep coloring it. I colored my hair for so long, I don't even know what color it really is anymore.
Well, I was trying to get to the point of not doing it anymore. After I got separated and I dyed the blonde out, my goal was to I always do this though. Oh no, I'm going to go back to my regular color. I don't want to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm maybe I could just do a wash, just
herbal essence.
The color a little, no, just go get color, but just pop the color a little bit. So it's a warmer tone of my regular color. And then when it fades out, it won't look weird. And then I tell myself that's a thing. And then I start getting double fucking processed colored highlights. And then I'm right back where I started. So
I honestly, I was probably junior high since I've seen just my plain hair color.
I haven't seen it all the way to the ends, but right now my roots are probably down to my ears. But it doesn't look weird. It's blended, but I think I'm ready. I'm just
so I feel we started off this podcast riveting, just fascinating our listeners with about our hair.
We talk about hair.
To it, our hair. The ship is happening, people, by the way. Oh gosh, that reminds me. Never mind. We can take that offline. We need to put our deposits down. Anyways.
Did we pick a book? I don't think we did.
So I started listening to Untethered Soul, that Reiki artist, mastery Reikiist, still don't know what they're called. And I'm liking it. There are parts that I'm you are not you. You are not your heart. You are experiencing the heart. And I was okay, but if you stop being kind of judgy, arrogant asshole, it has a lot of really great things. So if you're interested in that, blah, blah, blah. The point of that is I'm telling you, whatever we pick, I'm going to stop shooting myself in the foot and just freaking listen to it. I do like to read. I don't make time for it. Then I feel bad that I don't make time for it. And
yeah, that's what this is about a guilt trip. That's the goal.
Right. Isn't it? I just want to be stressed out every time we record. And every time I talk to you, I want to know what page you're on and how many pages I'm behind. Yeah. That's 100% why we started.
Not a competition at all. No, I think pre-Dreamforce, I'm not worried about a book, especially because we're going to pack in 2 episodes. We've got a guest today. We've got more guests. So we got plenty of things going on.
Yeah. So we've kind of like a mini-sode in between-sode, but it'll probably be longer with Jace and the .org side next week. So I'm super excited about that because there's always interesting things going on in that world that I never get to be a part of or touch. I'm not on, I didn't get to go
in the hub.
Yeah, I'm not on the hub, and I didn't get to go to the one of the sprints right after Witness Success because I
Mm-hmm.
had family in town. So there's always just this cool other world that I feel like a lot of us non.org people would love to be a part of. So I've spent a few times talking with Jace about, how he and I can talk about the bridge and, tearing down the wall of, the separation of the two. So that's going to be awesome. And it's before
Lots of
their sprint.
construction involved there.
Yes.
Walls,
Yes. Tearing down fake walls. Maybe
and
walls isn't the
gates,
right
or
word.
whatever the other one you said is.
Yes. And then after
And
that,
then the lovely and talented Angela Mahoney,
ooh, yeah.
who does all kinds of great
Yeah.
things, but specifically um, has some rad women stuff going on at Dreamforce, has a great session about male allies that's unfortunately really early on a Friday, but you totally should go to it. Um, and obviously she's my Dreamforce Sherpa in decorating the cloud that's part of your name tag at Dreamforce. So she definitely has some skills and
I
recommendations
didn't understand
for
any of that.
making Dreamforce awesome.
Decorating the cloud.
So yeah, so you know how when you get your name tag, it's the lanyard
Yeah.
part, and then there's the little clippy
Yep.
part that has this pulley thing for your name
Mm-hmm.
tag, and that clippy part is a cloud shape.
Uh-huh.
She gets little rhinestones and puts them on the cloud part.
Aww.
And I didn't find rhinestones at Target, but I found washi tape, and so I put like blue circles on mine. It's a good conversation piece, and I mean, it just makes it fun,
Well,
and it goes with
yeah.
all your buttons and stuff. But
Decorating.
yeah, she's just got, she's got those little trickies just to make things fun. So
I'm excited to talk to her. I love her. I've always said that, well, not only is she amazing, but the first time I met her, I was just so excited and like zinged out that someone talked faster than I or as much as I did. And it was just like, I was like, that's my one. That's my person. I know her. We're same.
that's hilarious. Well, and then it doesn't surprise me that I like her that
I
much,
adore her.
because then it's just a trifecta
Yes.
of awesome that we will have.
Now, before you introduce our guest, I want to give a little
Yes,
mini
ma'am.
woo-woo update. So
Woo
the last
woo.
episode I talked about like trying really hard to figure out maybe possibly where I've lost energy in my life and fix this autoimmune crap I've got going on. Fix
Mm-hmm.
it or manage. I guess manage is a better word. I'm not going to think myself out of it. Okay, so the reason I'm giving an update is because I also want people to know that it's also fair to change your mind and do something else if something's not working. So I have not gotten
Mm-hmm.
better, I've gotten worse. So I've kind of conceded and I'm going to go back on medication. I know it works. It's not ideal. It's not really what I want to do because of the implications of the medication. But I need it. And my body's super freaking unhappy. And other stuff has been going on that's like huge indications of like, I'm so mad inside. So
Yeah.
I know that I spoke about like, I'm going to try these things and I really want to try like no medication. And I tried the CBD and the meditation and the Reiki and working on and eating vegan. But since I got ill in May, I just haven't gotten better. So it's also okay to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Science is good. Medicine is good. This is what I'm going to do. And if my stepdad were
For
here,
now.
yeah. And if my stepdad were here, he would have rolled his eyes at me and told me to take the fucking medication like a year ago. So, like, anyways, that's just an update on like, it's also okay to try all the things and then change your mind and be like, okay, no, I'm just going to do the thing I know works right now. So there you go.
Well, and I think it's important to, you tweeted about what I said, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's important to remember. I was even talking to a friend about her job and or about relationships or whatever it might be, that past you had good intentions for current
Mm-hmm.
you. So like, just be gentle with that, and that like, obviously you didn't do this to yourself on purpose, but you also need to be better. It's been, if you have a possibility of being better, it's been
Yeah.
4 months. Like, and worse, and it doesn't mean it's forever either, right? Maybe you level set and then
Yeah,
you try
totally.
again. So onward and
Yes.
upward. You can do it.
Gonna be better. Be best.
So be all that you can
I
be.
just laughed.
We can. I love that I was You can do it. Nicorette can help is about what I was about to say because I'm so programmed with marketing spiels that's the phrasing that I
Yeah,
think
no,
of.
it's fine.
Sorry.
I do marketing little slogans in my head all the time. I still do Calgon Take Me Away, which is, I mean, like probably nobody that listens to this even remembers that.
I heard Cowboy Take Me Away, which is a
Oh,
song, but that's
no,
probably
it's
not what you
Calgon,
meant.
but that's yours is hotter.
Heyo. So I was gonna say speaking of hotter, but he's married, so that's not a great segue. Um, I have no really great segue except that I really want to just go talk to
Oh,
Dale. Um, for those of you who may not have met Dale Ziegler, if you run into him at Dreamforce, you should tell him that I said to say hello to you. I'm teasing. But he is super friendly. You'll hear us try to remember when we met, but it's just a great friend that it's been that long that I don't even remember. So um, we've got a link to his origin story that he did for Brent Downey's Advent Hero blog. So you can kind of get from the horse's mouth where he's come from, and he'll talk about his
mm-hmm.
background a bit too. But um, he was a solo admin for a long time and has made the shift to being a consultant. And what I remember is a great webinar that he did about so you inherited or created a mess. um, and now what, right? So he actually did that with the admin evangelist team. So we've got a link to that too, or you can, to find it, I search for Dale Ziegler spaghetti. So that's fun. Um, that's part of it in my mind. That's the part of it that stuck with me. So he talks about some great resources there because he knows things and he's super smart and super nice and he rocks a Midwest Dreamin' team and
Bring them
that's
on.
bring it on.
Bring them on. Dale,
What?
welcome to the show. It was my drum roll.
Thank you. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it.
No, I mean, I thought you were like I thought you fell off the couch or something, but no, that was just drum roll on your laptop.
Our somewhat belated ally, episode 40. We're just gonna.
That's okay.
40. Yeah, it's cool. We number it however we want. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Life is busy, but life is good. Life's really good. The youngest turned 3 yesterday, so we're all in party hangover mode right now. So life is good.
So how? I mean, obviously, we meet people and like you've only ever had Salesforce connotation to me. Haha. But how did you start Salesforcing once upon a time?
So I got my start in. So actually, it was on my birthday in October in 2010. I was working for a trucking company at the time, and I kept getting calls from my former sales ops director who had left to go to the railroad, and he kept calling me saying, "Hey, I have a job for you. I have a job for you." And I was thinking, "No, things are good here. I'll be fine. Whatever." And it was my birthday of all days that he called to say, "So there's this thing called Salesforce." Salesforce. And I just happened to have just received the episode or the issue of Forbes that had Benioff on the cover, and it said Salesforce. I'm like, hey, I recognize that. Okay, sure, we'll read up on it. And I thought, okay, that's my way in. This seems like a legit company. I have an advocate who is willing to carry me into the next phase of my career, and so. Jumped through all the hoops and made it into the railroad. And beginning of 2011, I was the solo Salesforce admin, and everything really just exploded from there. It was an unadmined org. It had a crap ton of bad data, and I mean the horror stories I always talk about were the opportunity object with 300 fields, 60 validation rules, and 1-page layout. So,
I want to do everything from one page.
Exactly, because it was built by somebody who should not have been given the keys to the kingdom. And so I got to deal with that mess for my 6 years that I was there, amongst other things, while getting engaged with the community and learning on the go, and then just the opportunities to actually really have a footprint in the community and try to pay it forward from somebody who brought me into the opportunity to begin with, to meet people in the community who took care of me, to then meet people that were looking to be taken care of, and then just watch it push forward. It's been a wild ride in 7.5 years, and it's flown by, and I've loved every single second of it.
Oh, come on.
Well, not every second.
60 validation rules. I hate it for you.
Okay, so I hated the 60. I loved chopping them down to 30 in one change set. That was a win. And then I left. I don't know. That was almost 2 years ago. I don't know where it sits now, but that was a win. It was good times. It was good learning and life. Yeah.
Well, and actually, I feel that was a wonderful segue to my next question you didn't know I had. But, Melinda presented about the admin to kind of consultant path at a past event. So I know, we've kind of talked about that in the past, but I guess that's asking you how you like your job now, sort of, not like anyone's listening. Hi, Mark. But, how has that transition been for you,
Well,
I guess?
Mark Ross, if you're listening, it's been supremely awesome. I know you're not taking video, but cheesy thumbs up. No, it's been good, because after 6 years, everybody, I think, could use a change of pace. I needed a change of scenery. I needed to not have the tunnel vision of the one org that, I knew like the back of my hand. I equated it to one of my children because I knew exactly how it breathed. I knew its heartbeat. I knew everything, but that was also very limiting from a career standpoint. I had just turned 36 when I left. It means I still have right around 30 years left in my career. So there was still a lot of opportunities in front of me. And so to be able to see other use cases, other functionalities that I didn't even know I'd get my hands on. The first time I took the admin cert in 2013, so after 2 years, I failed it when I thought I was very confident rolling through it, and I failed it, and I realized the reason I failed was stuff that we weren't using. And so I went to my boss.
Sure, you never did.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I went to my boss and I said, yeah, I failed it because we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Yeah, and we never will. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm a hands-on learner. I can't just sit in the class and absorb
Appreciate your optimism.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then when the opportunity, well, it wasn't an opportunity. It was, I needed to get out. I needed to change pace. And so as I started, I spent Midwest Dreamin' and the non-summit summit before Midwest Dreamin', and then also Dreamforce in those few months of 2016, just talking to everybody. I was bending everybody's ear. I owe many people many beers, after Steve Moe. Steve's always in first, but I owe everybody else many beers for all the time that they gave me. The number one thing that they told me was, you got to get certified. Get your certifications. So that really motivated me to go study and get those done. Got admin, got platform app builder, and then advanced to admin. And that gave me the confidence to then roll into Dreamforce, actually have interviews with people. And then the opportunity to work with Mark at Claire's Group here locally, it came up right after Thanksgiving, and bye-bye trains. Hello consulting.
Yeah, right. So how did you set it up, since people are coming up to Dreamforce? You said you took a bunch of interviews at Dreamforce. Like, was that kind of off the cuff? You ran into someone and you kind of did an interview right then and there? Or did you set it up prior to?
It was a mix of both, actually. I did have a few set up, like some of the bigger dogs that people through the community. Some of them were local here in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Some were Twitter connections, Success Trailblazer community. So it was, hey, I know I'm going to have these pockets of time available. Can we please talk? Can I kind of work my way in? And then I had probably at least 3 or 4 just on the fly in Dreamforce. I remember one was with Shobi Abdi of Wave 6, and that was through Ryan Headley. We all know and love Ryan. Nicest, sweetest guy in the world, and he will take care of everybody. It's why he's one of my favorite people. And he just said, hey, you need to meet Shobi. Okay, great. Where's Shobi? Great. Shobi and I are walking through, Howard Street into the expo hall for probably a good 45, 60 minutes. that was my interview, and it was, all right, here's your next steps. You're going to talk to people internally. Here's what you're going to do. This is good. And it was all because I met somebody. I never fully appreciated the power of networking, the power of people,
Hmm.
and the power of people comes from being a real person.
Yeah.
I would like to think that being just a nice, giving, genuine person helped with that. Your short term, it's really taught me that your short term interactions can have long term effects on not only yourself but other people, because it becomes a reciprocal
Yeah.
giving society.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and there's that saying, this is, and I'm going to misquote this. Someone will correct me, but that people won't remember what you said, but how you made them feel. And especially in a Dreamforce situation where there's just so many people coming at you, you'll probably pick up quicker on like, man, I really thought that person had a great vibe, or that person really made me laugh, more than like,
Mm-hmm.
what did we talk about? I can't remember
Yeah.
their name. I think I have their card.
Well, and I think too that I think it's a great reminder of, you might meet people at Dreamforce that you don't need yet, or that you don't need for not that you need is the wrong word, right? But that like, building that network is, you can't just do it when you're looking for a job, right? That's years of investment in the community that then pays off, which was a similar experience for me, right? So you can't just wait until you need it. So taking advantage of being there for Dreamforce and putting the word out there, right, that you're
Exactly.
interested in a new role, and
And
kind of the impact that can have.
those things come from what should be coming natural to us of just being ourselves. I think one thing that I have spotted in people that I don't interact with is that they give you the feelings of either they make you feel lesser, or they're not giving you their genuine selves. I don't like that. Just be you.
Yeah.
Mm.
I suck at that interaction too. Like I pull away from it. Like if it does feel like you're getting the surfacey or like a lot of little like catchphrases, which I feel like maybe I do too. I'm definitely a little less like, we're not connecting clearly.
Well, and like one of the big things that it then taught me was, so we have a huge project that just kicked off, and we had to hire a pretty decent number of people. And so going through the technical screenings and the interviews and everything, I opened every single one with, look, I have your resume in front of me. I can see all your bullet points. Tell me about your journey.
I like that.
Tell me how you got here. I care about that a lot more because it's going to give me more of a glimpse into your future, your potential, than any bulleted list of, well, I managed the process automation and I was responsible for analytics. Good for you.
Yeah.
I want to know you.
Yeah. Well, and especially in this space with what we do, with the access to the community, Trailhead, and the Googles, like it does become a little bit less about tell me how many process builders you've created. I mean, you can do like a little quick case study, but like, yeah, like tell me about you. Tell me like what are you passionate about? Are you interested in, maybe communities and you didn't get to do that before? Like, are you interested in bowling? We have a bowling league here. So no, I totally agree
Or
with that.
when somebody posts on Facebook that they're looking for people to text with on This Is Us, and then every Tuesday night after that is, so what happened on This Is Us, Kristi?
So I made a note about this, which is to mention it because I think it's funny, because I think it's interesting how, so I'm assuming we probably met at my first Midwest Dreamin', which was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Right. But then at some point we hung out, right. And then became Facebook friends. And then, when I got separated, right, like I know, like the people that you wouldn't assume are the people you talk to about certain things, like, oh, that's my Salesforce friend. But like, yeah, we're texting about a TV show because we can be like, holy crap, what just happened? And like it's a different way to relate to people, but it's also just an interesting, like, how fortunate that we get to meet these people that are similar to us in that way, that I would want to hang out with you and invite myself to your house. Like, that sounded stalkerier than I meant it to, but like that we can text about a TV show and then talk about
Well, and
real
if you
life.
follow any of my Runkeeper posts, you could probably figure out where I live. So it's not like I'm really hiding anything there. Literally anybody in the world can. So I guess now that this is, over the internet's over the air and everything, if you can pinpoint my house from Runkeeper, you're welcome.
Creeper.
I'll try and keep the beer fridge stocked. But yeah, no, I mean, this is.
That implies that I run, and I don't. That implies that I run and know how to therefore get into Runkeeper.
I love that you said
and find you, which means you're probably roll safe.
You said I'll make sure that there's beer, and my first thought was just make sure you lock everything. Or make sure that there's beer.
I try to keep it stopped.
Hey, I am traumatized from last night. We had a very windy night, and I thought I'd closed most of the windows, and I've got like the roller shades. And I don't always sleep well when my husband's gone because I don't wear my earplugs, so I'm like extra hyper aware. What I heard was a person walk down the hallway and into my room, and I lost my ever-loving mind and jumped straight out of bed. It was just the class. Anyways, the point is I'm like still like traumatized, and I've locked everything like 2 and 3 times today. It's daylight. I mean, not so much anymore, but you know what I mean.
Isn't it funny the tricks your brain plays on you? Like, so I just got a roommate.
My mind hates me, apparently.
Right?
Because it likes to scare the fuck out of me.
I just got a roommate, and to this morning I'm like, is it raining outside? And then I'm like, maybe that's the sound the rain makes on my new furniture set I finally put together outside. Oh no, it was just my roommate in the shower. And like when you like wash off and it makes that like oof sound with all the water coming off of you. Yeah, that's what it was. But so my brain is just do. Anyway, clearly we can get derailed easily. Speaking of,
I watched the finale of Sharp Objects and another documentary on Michael Alig, the party monster, like right before bed. And I'd spent most of yesterday watching all of Castle Rock, the Stephen King multiverse. So I was super primed for bad dreams and super sketch thoughts. So a little bit of wind through the house. I closed every window. I was like, I don't care how stuffy this place is in the morning. Every window will be shut. I was like, what's that noise outside?
A couple months ago, Father's Day weekend, we had all my in-laws. So mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, his family, his little kids, and staying over for the weekend. And we had shifted rooms. So Gus, our almost 5-year-old, sleeping on an air mattress in our bedroom. 3 a.m, I get up to go to the bathroom. I turn on the light, and along the wall, I see a long brown thing. And I'm thinking, that is one hell of an earthworm. Oh, that's not an earthworm.
Is there doo-doo on the wall?
No, that was a snake.
Oh my God! Sorry, I was not anticipating that.
3 in the morning. I'm barely with it. So like our yeah. I wish you were like recording video to post to this, Melinda. So
I can't. In my, I
really thought
I was ready for. I thought doo-doo too, but I also was ready for you to step on the air mattress and like fling your kid against the wall or something.
So he would have just said again if I had done that. No, so
yeah, right.
The way our bathroom is set up is like you walk out of the bedroom, and then there's like the sink, the sink area, and then you go through another door to get to the shower and the toilet area. And so it's 2 sets of doors, and lights are on. So I've closed all the doors behind me. I poke my head out just enough that Amanda wakes up. She's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, I don't want to scare you, but there's a snake in the bathroom. What the fuck? Jumps out of bed, and so she follows me back in. Looking at it, she's like, "What do you want me to do? You want me to go to the garage and get garden tools or something?"
Oh wait, I'm sorry. She went in the bathroom.
She
where
poked
there was
her
a
head
fucking
in.
snake.
She poked her head in just enough to confirm that yes, that is in fact a snake. So she goes downstairs, and she comes back with like a big shovel, like you're digging a big hole shovel, and a hacksaw.
Okay.
And I like, okay, well, I can take the trash can and kind of trap it, whatever. And she's like, so.
She's like, can you release my ass?
My mom is an animal governor.
After you murder it, please.
Well, yeah. So she's like, so do you want the tool? Like, what are you talking about? No, turn around, look at me. She's holding the hacksaw in her hand. Yeah, okay, sure. So we took care of that. Probably for the next 2 weeks, bathroom lights are on in the middle of the night. just to be on the safe
Mm.
side. Well, so 2 days after this happened, I was flying out to DC for a trip, and I'm standing at the parking terminal thing, like waiting for the shuttle to come pick me up, and I just hear like some kind of rustling, whatever, and I turn around, and there's a raccoon going
Oh
in and out of the
my
trash
God.
can, just randomly.
Oh, but they're so
Oh yeah, well
cute.
it was cute until it went like at me, which I got on video. Like the second time he went from gutter to trash can, I'm like, well, this is Facebook worthy, so take a video of it, whatever. Like, why are all the critters attracted to
Oh,
us?
I
Like,
was gonna say, do you live in Australia or something? Like,
it
what?
damn near
Why are
feels
you?
like it.
all the critters. I love me a trash panda. I think they're so cute, but they've never hissed at me either.
Yeah,
So,
I kept my distance.
It's like a cat with hands, apparently.
so I know that we can just chat forever, and we should, and we are. But as you know, the whole point of every 10 episodes is to invite an ally on. I do want to have a little caveat. No, it's not a caveat, an addendum, an addition. It doesn't matter. Just say the words. I feel like I have learned recently that not everybody fully understands the role of an ally. Maybe the purpose of inviting them into conversations. And I don't know if the people that didn't know will be listening to this to help out. But I think maybe we can just touch on it again because there have been maybe some feedback or comments around like, why invite a male speaker or why invite, allies in? What's the point of it? And I think that most people know, but like just to kind of reiterate, like you can't live in a silo and you need, I think every underrepresented group needs allyship. I think that we have all been an ally to some person or group or another. So in this context, we're trying to speak to how men can help support women in the workspace, equal pay, a seat at the table, and a completed sentence at the table. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there that's the point. And the reason we bring on allies is her and I can talk all day long and we have amazing female guests. And I just really like to point that out that we want to also bring in the allies because we know our issues and we know we want equality, but like we're going to need a little help. So on that, tell us a little bit more about your allyship in the community.
So Kristi and I were talking about that before we hit the record button on this one. I don't have allyship in an official community capacity. Like a lot of men get involved in the WIC groups or obviously LGBTQ support and all that kind of stuff. I haven't found my official avenue for that. What I do have is life experience of being surrounded by the people that I care the most about are the ones that they're the ones that are looking for that extra support, that are looking to be equal. And this will make sense. I swear, it's not just a generic, cop outline. I swear. So it's a little bit of life history, if you'll give me the floor for a few minutes. But I grew up originally in Sacramento, California, in a suburb that whites are the minority, like by far. And so I remember every day taking the bus to school, and we would go through neighborhoods where, pick an ethnicity, and we picked up kids from there. And when you're that age, you don't care about skin color. You don't care about religion. What you care about is we all hate school, or wow, that teacher sucks, or can't wait to go play at recess, whatever. All you care about is just being kids and being people and just being with each other and having each other's backs. One of my best friends growing up since first grade, she was exactly a month older than me, and we just clicked. I couldn't tell you what exactly it was about Karen and I, but we just clicked. I then saw my mom, who she had exactly 12 hours of college experience. She showed up to the dorms, moved in, got homesick, went back home, and that was that. Well, no, she openly talks about this.
That's so funny. Like this isn't for me. This isn't working
and I mean, college is for some people and it's not for others. But I remember when I was maybe 6 or 7, she made a goal to go back and get her degree. She saw the opportunities that would come with that, and so she would work all day, and then go to junior college and start taking classes. And her goal was to get her bachelor's before I got my high school diploma. She beat me by 2 weeks. And so I had my mom as a role model to say, like, you can do anything. So all of this starts to come together. Go to the University of Kansas, where I met many different kinds of people, loved them all, had great experiences. I should back up, moved to Kansas City when I was 13. That happened somewhere before college. A couple years after I graduated from college, I got a call from my friend Karen's mom to say that she had locked herself in a hotel room and took her own life because she had struggled for years with, she didn't know if she was gay, if she was bi. She didn't know what her identity was, but she was struggling, and she had no familial support.
Mm.
Karen and I had kind of lost contact. We'd have the occasional email, whatever, back and forth, but I was just absolutely kicking myself because 2 weeks prior, I had been back in California for my grandfather's funeral. And I even thought, while I'm here, I should call Karen. We should go get lunch. We should do whatever. And I didn't. And 2 weeks later, I got that call because she didn't feel like she was supported. And so, every year to this day, September 26th, her birthday, like that's a little bit of a special day for me because I still miss her. And she was somebody who didn't get all the chances that she fully deserved from people that should have been supporting her.
Right.
Mm.
And so it's been just the interactions that I've had with people that then coming into a community that is fostered by a company that has that. Salesforce is absolutely not the norm when it comes to anything, especially when you start talking about philanthropy, when you start talking about gender pay equality, when you start talking about opportunities for everybody. It just becomes easier to say, I'm here for everyone. What can I do? No, I haven't found that official capacity. I'm here for everyone because I love everyone. A couple of years ago, Amanda, my wife, we did the 5 love languages and found out that my first one is personal touch, which expands out to a bubble. If I have my bubble filled with good people, I can do anything. And so knowing that everybody from all walks of life, from all life experiences, from all everything are in the community, that helps me want to do better and be better. And I will absolutely call it out. I check all the boxes. I do have the privilege. I'm trying to figure out how to best use that for everyone. I'm not perfect at it. My colleagues in the check all the boxes category aren't perfect at it, but we are trying. We are very open to feedback. Because we want everyone to be equal. We want equality for everyone.
Well, and I think that's one of the interesting things is I was talking to my my manager about, like, it'd be nice just to get to a point where we don't have to talk about it because it's not a thing, right? It's not that, we want extra things, right? We just want similar things for everybody. And it's tough that there's no one list of rules, right? And there's, like, you've had it potentially somewhat unique experience in having that variety of exposure that some people haven't had. So then can you expect them to be tolerant if they've never met anyone else? So just kind of those kind of, like you said, that awareness and being in this community that is the salad bowl, kind of gives you that. And then hopefully we get to a point that we don't need women in tech groups because women are equally represented at existing tech conferences and things.
We're obviously really sorry to hear about your friend Karen. That's horrible. And I don't think you need a official capacity. I think that, we invited you on because we think you're an ally and we know how much you raise and support people in the community. So, I definitely think just being you, kind of like you mentioned before, like just being a good, authentic human and seeing people for their worth maybe that's not the way to put it. Seeing people for just who they are, regardless, um, is like 100% what everybody needs. Does it need to be in a group or, like you said, with an official title? You had mentioned earlier, and I kind of forgot to ask you about this, but you had said that, you were at the railroad for 6 years. And I think you had said that you were just kind of bored. Maybe that's not the way to put it. I've gotten myself in trouble before saying I was bored. Um, but it's kind of like a two-part question. I think that a lot of people feel in general they have a shelf life somewhere for them to feel like they're moving forward and learning. But I really have begun to think lately, this kind of came up in conversation recently, that this particular field, I feel like even like a couple years, people are like, I'm ready to move on. And not for anything bad or I don't like that company, but I think a lot of people are, the time frame is even shorter, like a 2 to 4 years, and even 4 like might even be a lot in this ecosystem of like, okay, I was an admin here for 4 and I want to learn new stuff, or I was a consultant now I want to do, work for a partner. So, did I have a question in here?
Yes.
How about, do you agree, sir?
No, absolutely. And I mean, anecdotally speaking, 3-4 years is about that target mark that you see these days of, especially in tech, anybody staying in one role with one company, because
Yeah.
the rate of evolution is just getting quicker and quicker by the month, by the day, that it's not necessarily that new opportunities open up. It's the new toys. It's the new passions, the new skill sets, the new everything
Yeah.
are evolving so quickly. I mean, I only know this because I tried to slam 5 release notes worth into a very short time frame. But if you just look at Salesforce release notes, at how they're growing each release, because there's so much more to do, there are a lot of people who are absorbing those that.
Right.
Back to my case, you could say I was bored. I mean, I don't work there anymore, so what are you going to do? Fire me? I did my 5 years, so I'm vested in the pension fund, so they can't take that away from me. But
and you can like age out almost, you know what I mean? Or like, that's not the right phrase. You can like skill out in a sense, and then you need to pass the baton. And I think I've been fortunate enough to work for people that have been like, yeah, I get it. Like there's not space for here to grow like you want to. So
yeah, I mean,
you
get to a point of, I'm just keeping the lights on at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not building anything new. I'm not doing anything cool, because going back to
Yeah.
all the new stuff that comes out in release notes, I think you especially find this in the customer space a lot. There are new things that just simply do not apply to some use cases. There are admins and developers out there that are super passionate about each new cool piece of functionality that comes out every single time. But then when they take that new thing and apply it to their org, they realize it has no place here. Those start to add up, at least in Salesforce. I'm going to guess in, pick another system, Oracle, NetSuite, all of them, that like, yeah, but what I want to do is not here. I've seen all the people in my company. I've met the full capacity. I've met the full potential of this. And
well, I think too, though, that there as a consultant, right? I think you get a little more breadth, but not the same depth, right? So I think it's interesting. I think it kind of plays into, what your strengths are. Maybe like maintenance and training and small optimizations are your bread and butter, right? And that's what you want to do. I don't know. I think it's just an interesting,
I agree.
different flavor.
I still love getting my hands dirty. I still love going to the whiteboard and saying, well, what if we did this, whatever. I think actually moving into consulting, the biggest thing that I've learned to appreciate is the core functionality.
That's a good way to look at it.
Because it's the only thing that every single org has. Going back to, the full, you get a wider breadth, but maybe not the full depth. That's the only component that you can leverage from org to org, industry to industry, regulatory environment to regulatory environment. is that core functionality, and then figuring out, okay, I know what I have now, how can I spring off of it from here for this one, where maybe another company I'm going to spring off of it to the 180 the other way, but I'm still at that same foundation. And I didn't appreciate that as a customer, and I'm going to guess that a lot of admins and developers also don't, because, well, I know it works for my company, so I'm just going to build it this way, and it's my baby. I know how it lives. I know how it breathes. I know it's a little weird, and I have to call its parents to make friends, and blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But in a consulting org, or in a consulting environment, knowing that you hope that your clients have a good taste in their mouth about you. Really, the biggest thing that Salesforce empowers you as a consultant with is that core functionality and how to use it to its most effective capability before going down the customization route, before going into the full-on code route, whatever the solution may warrant.
So true. I know. I'm
core
like, I
is
like
all
that.
everybody has in common.
Would you? Well, and then I wonder too, like, I mean, it was hard enough to get seats last year, so I kind of don't want to encourage people to go to True to the Core at Dreamforce. But I do think it's interesting, even in conversations more recently about new stuff, right? Like, some of the things that are on the Idea Exchange are years old, right? And some of the things that were, like, there's obviously new Lightning features and a lot of great things there, but, like, when Vlad tweeted the other day about where is this field used on a field and, like, going into pilot, right? That's like, right? That's not Lightning. That's not new fancy over here. That's like, that's True to the Core stuff, which is, like you said, it's easy to get, the new actions and filters and all kinds of fun stuff. But, like, you do have that platform to start from. And that's a great point, that sometimes we forget what we have because we don't have this one little thing that we want.
So, pop quiz then. What's your favorite True to the Core feature, Kristi?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm getting to you, Dale. Think on it.
Ooh, go.
So, and it's kind of recency because I was just talking to a client about it today, but the fact that the account is the hub of everything. If you're in a sales capacity, if you're in a B2B or B2C, the account is the hub. Set it and don't touch it. I've sparked some interesting conversations in our user group in Kansas City about your account record's last modified date, if you're doing it right, should equal its created date.
What? Blasphemy.
Let's chew on that one for a little bit. Unless, like, the company moves, or maybe it's upgraded from a prospect to a customer status, or it's also a partner, something like that. But your account is that static piece of information that then you have an entire breadth of other objects, custom objects, whatever, to extend transactional information.
I know. And then the defiant part of me was like, what if I needed to update their address? God.
No, he said it's okay if they move. No, but what's interesting to me is...
So defiant.
I was talking to somebody about this morning that as an accidental admin, I think you do get into... There's things that I just assume that they work, that's how they work, that I probably don't appreciate them enough. Like, that you can build fields, that you can build formulas, right? That you have the lookup relationships inherent to accounts and contacts and accounts and other things. But a part of me too is like, but what if it's account specific information? Like, what if it's some kind of, like, their renewal date? It's going to have to, like, update every year, or, like.
But what sparks a renewal? Is it an opportunity? Is it a contract?
Yeah, but then, so you're saying it should just, like, roll up or display on the account level?
Or live somewhere tangential to the account, not necessarily on the account. Because where is that information actually being stored? In a proper data governance model that should be defined. That's my other thing that one of my teammates, Paul Dury, just, like, he loves governance. Like, between me with core, Paul with governance, and Mark with flow and automation, like, don't lock us in a room together, because, like, shit's gonna explode. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Actually, your presentation that you're like known for more is documentation. No, unravel the spaghetti.
I've made a spaghetti analogy before. Actually, okay, I think I know where you're going with that. Yeah, I wrote a blog post a couple of months ago about essentially standard functionality with custom stuff on top of it. Spaghetti requires a spaghetti sauce, not ketchup. Just because they both come from tomatoes doesn't mean they're the same thing.
Ooh. Food analogies. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. God, who was it? It was on TLC, the Mama June, the Honey Boo Boo. And yeah, I even found the YouTube clip of making sketty, where the spaghetti sauce is ketchup and butter. I puke every time I see it. But that was what I put in there as the reference of if you screw with the sauce that goes on the pasta,
that's true,
you're going to have a bad time. It's going to be gross. It's not going to work and no one's going to like it. Well, it's the same thing with if you either try to misuse a standard functionality or you just say, nah, we're going to go completely custom, you're going to have a bad time.
My host family in Paris put, was it cream cheese or mayo in their spaghetti? Which I remember thinking at the time sounded so gross, but now I was like, that kind of sounds creamy and yummy. Anyways, I sidebar.
Just by association.
It's like pasta vodka sauce, kind of, though. That's cream.
Cream cheese or mayo, though?
I mean, I digress.
I could see it being mayo. I could see it maybe being mayo sauce, which...
I know, it's all gross. So since we're talking about things that are disgusting and gross and all... why don't you share? Oh, wait. Did we not share our favorite core pieces before we move on?
No, I hogged the floor on that one. Go for it.
I mean, I feel like we kind of did. Do you have one that you...
I just love reports still. Like just good old fashioned basic reports. I dig reports.
I feel like there's still something with reports that I think formulas and reports work differently than formulas really work in reports. Like I want to build a calculation in a report that's per line instead of like building it on the object and showing it. Anyway, that's my problem.
It is your problem. We're not going to solve it today.
Yes. No, I mean, clearly.
But Dale, our esteemed guest, if you would like to share your biggest Salesforce screw up in your 7 years.
All the times I forgot to deactivate workflow rules before doing data loader, or then when we got the ability to run flows from process builder and I tried to do data loader. Thank God for the batch size being too large and it failed.
It depends. Did those include email alerts?
Oh, email alerts, field updates.
Of course.
Yeah. It had all the things. No, the biggest one, I was thinking about this one. So my first year, brand spanking new, didn't know what Salesforce was until I looked at the cover of Forbes for the opportunity. We had two orgs, one in the United States, which covered U.S. and Mexico sales as well as U.S. customer service, and then there was a professional org in Mexico that was just Mexico customer service. Ooh. And so because Salesforce had been turned on but unadministered, and it was just data dump from legacy mainframe systems, all the badness that you possibly imagine, we were trying to figure out how can we make Salesforce the center of things. So we were going to do email campaigns for service updates. So when there's going to be a section of track that goes offline to be repaired, well, customers need to know about it. It's not like the interstate system for trucks where you can just pick a different road and still get your stuff there. The track is down, so we got to notify people. And so we wanted to use Salesforce as the source of contacts. Well, again, because it was data dumps from legacy systems, side story about that, my VP, about a month before I got in, just wanted to sample some of the data to test its validity. He picked 25, randomly called them, 7 were dead. So that was our data cleanliness. So anyway, we wanted to get all the contacts from both those orgs in one. And with the Mexico one being professional, you don't get data loader. You don't get any of the API connectivity. You don't get any of that. So what I did have was reports. Like, okay, so I'll drop the ID into a report, send it out to Excel, and I've always loved Access. I've always loved SQL. I've always loved like the data side of things too. What I failed to appreciate was the fact that a 15 character ID is significantly different than an 18 character ID. And Kristi, I think I did this for the Charlotte user group. I definitely did it at Dreamforce a couple of years ago. Case Safe ID will give you the 18 character ID every single time. I chose to do a presentation on that because it bit me in the ass horribly when I was working with a Mexico data set of umpteen bajillion duplicate accounts, umpteen bajillion duplicate contacts, and then tried to cross-reference that back into an org that did have access to an 18 character ID because I had data loader. I had duplicate 15s all over the place in the Mexico org, essentially creating many-to-many join relationships.
Oh, fun.
To then try and throw into a master org, which also had its problems with duplicate accounts, duplicate contacts.
Nice.
Took me a year as the solo admin to finally dedupe all of that.
Oh my God.
So my biggest Salesforce mistake was not respecting the 15 versus 18 character ID and the fact that in Salesforce, 15 character IDs are case sensitive. In Microsoft Office, they are not.
That is a hard lesson learned. Of course,
that was a year.
That's a lot. It's a long time.
It's a year I can't get back.
Nope. That's never coming back.
Nope.
But hopefully you found all the dead people?
PII can't exactly tap into that. It just is. Yeah.
I used to work for a love line that I called people in rural farming America to ask if they were interested in love. And I often encountered someone, I would ask for a spouse and the other person.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. I worked for like a love line or something and people it would either be.
What does that mean? Is that
I'm not
porn phone?
Now, like pre-internet dating, like a dating service. So either people would put in like a card saying they were interested or it would be kind of cold calling, I think. And the area that I called was like rural America. So I cannot tell you how many times people were like, you cannot call me before sundown. I have chores. I was like, yeah, totally get it. Or so-and-so was dead. And at first it was shocking, but I think after a handful of times, it more led into, so you're single. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it did not.
I could just imagine you with a phone book.
Oh yeah,
and like
it's like
a
dialer,
ruler,
a weird dialer, phone dialer. Because I don't even think it was. I don't even think I sat in front of a computer. I think I sat in front of like a phone dialer and like hand took notes.
That may be the most awesome thing I've ever heard.
What's even happened? So you're single.
So you're interested in our services. It was the weirdest. I gotta tell you, that was the weirdest freaking place. I look back now and I was like, was that legit? Like, it just seems super weird at this point. And I'm like,
were you like shipping VHS tapes to people of potential
like half the
people
half the building was empty? Betamax. Weird little copy. I don't know. Either way, I'm glad I don't remember the name of it.
I just love that you said love line, and my first thought was like, what? You did phone sex?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure people call you for sex on the phone, not like this is aggressive phone sex. Hey, how you doing? You want some phone sex? Maybe this one just took a terrible turn.
Maybe it's just proactive. It doesn't have to be aggressive. Oh. Okay.
Assertive. I think the term is assertive.
This proactive is killing me.
Not reactive. Oh man. Well, I'm happy that you learned the case safe ID.
None of that means anything anymore.
Oh my gosh, you can make Salesforce terms like sound dirty if you say them right, but we're not going to go down that slippery slope while we're recording.
Deal. Yes.
Thanks for laughing with us,
the show. And being an ally and just being a general awesome human.
Thank you. I love you both. I love everything that you're doing. I mean, I think I was saying that way back day one. I love what you're doing. This is phenomenal, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
Only 4 weeks.
We'll see you
Hugs
so
and
soon.
Drinks.
Whoop, whoop. Hugs and drinks. I like it. I always forget how much I really thoroughly enjoy talking to our guests because we get so wrapped up in talking to ourselves all the time. And again, don't get me wrong, I love it. But speaking with Dale was awesome. I love his, it's like quiet confidence. I don't know how to explain it. Like he's kind of a calming energy to be around, but he's like super smart, but like energetic too. I don't know, all wrapped in one.
I feel like he could be that person that you're going to sit down and you're going to figure out this thing that's bothering you, and he's going to just talk it out
Yeah.
with you. And like, we're going to get to the bottom of this together.
He's a person that like sincerely looks you in the eyes when you speak. Like, oh, you're actually listening to me. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like, I feel like,
Yeah.
I just think that's a really awesome trait about him.
Super great listener.
And he's speaking twice at Dreamforce. Well, sort of, not necessarily like sessions, but he is.
Sessions.
That one was a hard one. He is in the theater for the Salesforce MVP office hours for the community on Wednesday. And at 5:00 on Wednesday, the Demo Jam, Admin Apps.
That's fun. Have you ever co-hosted a Demo Jam?
I just love them so much. Like I am over the moon about.
Oh, I think we've talked about this.
Love it so much.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm trying to put one together for the user group for our December meeting. And I'm not having total success yet. The other apps we have, like, there wasn't totally interested. But the one app that is interested is also my super fave. That was not planned, by the way. That was beautiful.
Yeah, sure it was.
So Mogli is an SMS to Salesforce, and they actually have other brand features too, and I haven't had a chance to really look at them. But they are going to be a sponsor for one of our user group meetings. But why I'm really excited is I am doing my app cookbook suggestion box demo at Dreamforce. And initially when I built it for the app cookbook, the 3 ways I had the ability to enter a suggestion was like the community, email, the case, or phone. And I was like, oh, phone's so boring. So I was trying to come up with something fun and cool. And I thought of them, and they're going to work with me. So I get to show a text to case situation at the demo, at the, like, my little session. So they're awesome to work with.
Cool.
Super happy to, like, what can I do for you? How can I help you out? Let me set this up. So easy to work with. And I'm super excited to kind of show another way to, to get to input a case or input a suggestion, and for this little fake company that I have for my IoT theater session.
Ooh, look at you.
I know. It's my super fake.
It's funny, for anyone who's listening to us still after 40-ish episodes, we don't plan things like this, but funny enough, I do have a tool as well, not exactly an app, but an admin tool that really came through for me, which is Admin Booster. And I can't use maybe the whole full tool because I don't have a Windows computer. But if you go to adminbooster.com, you can see it. But the great thing that I was able to use was literally just converting a list of Salesforce IDs from 15 to 18 characters, which was like totes my goats, what I needed.
Yeah.
And
I have like a site I go to, but I like this better.
Well, it's on their site, so maybe it is. I feel like if you Google Salesforce 15 to 18, like it comes up at the top. So there you go, because Google is an admin's best friend. And, because sometimes you have like Process Builder that takes the
Yep.
one. I want to say 15, but I think that's backwards. So
I just said yep, like the Muppet. Yep.
So that's my trick, and I'm super excited. Thank you to Dale for joining us. Excited to see you soon because it's September, which means it's almost Dreamforce time. And
true.
We still have 2 more episodes, so you get to hear plenty of us before you go. We'll have stickers, and we'll be around for hugs and whatever else.
Yay!
Is happening. And until then, stay witty.
Bye.